Think you good enough to sit in that seat? Let me tell you what I did to get that seat, Miss Stone. I killed niggas. Innocent females. I did what I had to do, Miss Stone. That's my seat. I stopped doing everything to take you. Help me get your ass over here. I did what I had to do to get that seat. I stopped doing it for you and your brothers and your sisters. And you wanna be so damn dumb to not accept the help I'm bringing to you? You know how many females I know that had a chance? You know what they turned out to be? Nothing.
What on, family? It's your boy SNTV, back at y'all with another video. And the title to this video is going to be called Matricide, the story of Young QC. Now, Young QC comes from that uptown neighborhood on the north side of Chicago. He came up, you know, pretty decent. I wouldn't say that he was rich, but he was definitely privileged. His mother owned a beauty salon / barbershop that was called Nappy Heads. It was on Broadway. She actually owned that shop for over 16 years. And a lot of people don't know this, but Yolanda was actually featured in the 1986 hit movie Wildcats that starred Goldie Hawn, Woody Harrelson, and Wesley Snipes. A lot of people say that Yolanda Holmes actually spoiled Young QC, gave him everything that he asked for, and he was a spoiled brat. When he didn't get what he asked for, he would lash out. Simply put, Young QC wanted his mother out of the way so that he could spend her money the way that he wanted to. Young QC was an aspiring rapper, and he couldn't necessarily spend his mother's money the way that he wanted to, even though he had access to it. He wanted to have money, so that he can fund his rap career with no problems.
Yeah, man. About to go get this $1,000 out for the fans, man. Really, I'm gonna take out 20,000, man. Just to show people, you feel me? I'm on a whole different level with this, man. I take this serious, man. So you can't put me in the same category as the others.
The police actually began to look into Young QC dealing with his mom's murder, because 1 week after his mom's death, he began to liquidate her bank accounts. He actually collected over $90,000. Plus, he was the sole beneficiary on 2 life insurance policies. They also began to look at the fact that his actions didn't exactly line up with someone that was mourning the death of their mother, especially considering the nature in which she was killed. In fact, his actions actually began to suggest that he didn't give a damn one way or the other whether his mother was alive or dead. He was alive and he was spending money, he was flossing on Instagram, and he was doing his thing.
You feel me, man? I don't play no games. You feel me? I don't play no games, man. You know, I do this for real, bro. I don't got no problem with giving back, man. I'm the only one out here with a show that's actually giving back, you feel me? And I got proof to show it, you feel me? Shout out to this fan I'm finna go slide on, man. I'm finna take care of you.
And while Young QC was out promoting his music career, the police was putting together an investigation to be sure that if he was guilty, if he had something to do with the death of his mother, that they were going to make sure that he ended up exactly where his father was. Young QC was born Qaw'mane Wilson, is currently behind bars after he was suspected of orchestrating the September 2nd, 2012 murder of his mother Yolanda Holmes. QC was charged with murder and home invasion in Holmes' death. QC's father, Jeffrey Todd Wilson, is serving a life sentence in prison for murder after setting fire to a home in 1990. Wilson was a reputed gang leader from the west side of Chicago and charged with murder and aggravated arson in 1993 after burning down a crack house because a drug dealer refused to pay a street tax of $500 to $1,000 a week. Lee Burnett, 46, and Floyd Spencer, 56, two low-level workers, were killed in the blaze. Young QC commented on his father's case via social media, posting a Chicago Tribune article titled "Reputed Gang Leader Facing Murder Charges in 1990" to his IG account. He captioned the post, "Shaking my head, still my daddy though."
Police say that after the murder of young QC's mother, he began trying to mask his guilt by attending a Stop the Violence rally and the funeral of Idea Pendleton, in where he spoke out about the situation dealing with his mother.
My mother, she was a neighborhood woman. A guy entered her home, and murdered her, just to steal.
It would later be discovered that not only was young QC unbothered by the death of his mother, but he was actually the one that orchestrated it when a guy that goes by the name of Eugene Spencer was apprehended.
Wilson was accused of hiring Eugene Spencer to kill Holmes. Spencer allegedly shot Holmes in 2012 inside her apartment in the Uptown neighborhood and left her boyfriend unconscious. According to the newspaper, he also reportedly stabbed Holmes after Wilson told her over the phone to make sure the B is dead.
Apparently, not too long after young QC and Spencer set up their plan, they put it into action when one morning at 4:15 a.m., Eugene Spencer went to the apartment of Yolanda Holmes seeking to kill her. He broke into the apartment, shot Yolanda Holmes, stabbed her, and ended up in a fight to the death with her boyfriend, a guy that goes by the name of Curtis Wyatt. During this fight, Spencer was actually outfought for the gun, in which he was able to pistol whip Curtis Wyatt before he dropped the gun and ran out. When Spencer was caught, he initially tried to say that he went over young QC's house to drop some clothes off and that he ended up getting into a brawl with the killer of the mother of young QC, and that the killer of young QC's mother was actually her boyfriend, Curtis Wyatt. He then changed his story up a bunch of times. Detectives sensed inconsistencies in his story. They ended up putting pressure on him. He ended up telling the police that he was hired by young QC to carry out the hit and that he was supposed to get $3,500 for the hit, and he only ended up getting $70. Authorities say that even after young QC was charged with the murder of his mother, he still showed no sympathy for the situation, as he was seen posting pictures on Instagram, still doing it for the clout with guys like Lil J from FBG. And a lot of people believe that young QC actually confessed to what he did before he was charged. He did an episode, and in that episode, he said some really suspicious things.
Let me tell you what I did to get that seat, Miss Stone. I killed niggas. Innocent females. I did what I had to do, Miss Stone. That's my seat.
Young QC and Eugene Spencer would eventually be charged and both giving 100 years. This was a very, very, very sad and crazy story. What gets me is that it seems like we will do anything for a little bit of clout, anything for a little bit of money, anything for a little bit of fame. You know, when it comes to morals, those are completely out the window. And it was then, and especially now in 2020. I have never seen to this day nobody else black beside this guy right here that actually paid to put a hit on their own mother for the insurance money. All to go out, stunt with it, fund his music career, and to fix up, juice up his Mustang that his mother had bought for him before she died. I feel as though the age of the internet, social media, and the clout is a problem in a lot of ways, and some people really don't know how to take it, so they will do anything just for that attention, anything just for a little bit of fortune and fame. When it comes to the minds of these children these days, growing up, the internet taints their mind and they think that doing stuff like this is actually okay to achieve fame. When in all actuality, one thing that you can't replace is a mother. And once something has been done, you cannot turn back the hands of time and make it right again. I don't know the thinking pattern, or I don't know the mind of this young QC guy. He looked like he might have had potential to be a good kid. All I can say about this dude is he was very greedy and he was very heartless. He had to be, to have the person whose womb that you crawled out of executed, especially in a manner like that. It just goes to show that we are definitely living in the end times. As Matthews 10:21 reads, brother will betray brother to death, and the father his child. Children will rebel against their parents and have them put to death. This has been the story of the sick-minded young QC. It's your boy, SNTV.
Man, switch that shit up. And on everything, every motherfucker who know me, I'm 100 in this shit. Used to rob all that shit. My mama been to the hospital 2 times because the motherfucker damn near died. Been to the penitentiary 6 times. And I'm official than the motherfucker when it comes to this Blackstone shit. Check my file. And all that shit don't mean nothing. All that shit don't mean nothing, Joe. I'm back at 48 years old in college trying to get my degree. Some shit I should have done when I was y'all age. See, on everything, Joe, y'all need to knock this goofy shit off, man. Y'all too precious, too smart, too motherfucking talented. But that shit like a light that's turned off. It don't mean shit if you don't turn it on.